Coach, thank you so much for joining us today.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
All right, so we've got some big news. You announced that after 22 years leading Long Beach State men's volleyball, you will be retiring at the end of this month. And you capped off such a great season. It went 30-3 and also took home the national title, sweeping UCLA. So to finish your career with a national championship, what did that moment and what did that journey mean to you?
Yeah, I certainly didn't think it in the moment. I knew the last couple of years it was getting close, but didn't necessarily think it in the moment. But yeah, it was a spectacular season. Obviously capped off with a championship, but I've always believed, especially in the NCAA, very different than professional volleyball, where just like the NBA or Major League Baseball, it's a best out of 5 or best out of 7. In a NCAA environment, or even in the conference tournament for the Big West, it's a one and done. So, you feel like not always the best teams win that one game. Maybe if you played 5, maybe you played 7, you would get a better real example of what it could be. But I think that when I look back, that it's more about the journeys to the championships. Like, my dad, who was a coach, told me once when I was really young as a head coach, like, don't get caught up in a big win or a big loss. Just the way you want to look at it is you can't win it if you're not in it. So be in it a lot and it will take care of itself. So the view that I've always had is we just have to find ways to get in, even if we're maybe not our best team of all time, maybe if we're banged up, we just need to get in the tournament because we just have to win it once. We don't need to win a series. That's how I felt about all my teams, all the journeys, because I've had so many teams that if you maybe played out the best of 5 or best of 7, maybe the result either way switches, wins or losses. But the journey was spectacular last year because of the fact that we went through so many big injuries. When you lose 3 starters during the course of the year that are out for the year, a lot of teams crumble in that situation, even with one. And each Monday when we came back in the gym and we were dealing with more and more injuries, the guys were just, you could see it as like, well, let's go. Our week looks like what this week? Here we go. They just embraced it was what it was. And I was so proud of the guys who had stayed ready, even though they haven't been starting or maybe playing a lot. So the journey was spectacular, and obviously it was a special year of a lot of attention to men's volleyball. Obviously we generated a lot of excitement. We sold out a whole bunch of matches at home. A whole bunch of people we played throughout the course of the year had their biggest attendance ever. And it was just great for men's volleyball. So it was a very enjoyable year, and I didn't know then, but now that I look back now, it was a special way to go out.
Yes, definitely a great way to cap off your career. You have made it to 8 Final Four appearances in the last 9 seasons. So in your eyes, how has the program been able to sustain its excellence and success for over 2 decades?
Yeah, it's a great question. I feel so blessed, to lead this program because it's such a special group, and when I say group, I'm not talking about just the team last year or the last even couple of years, just in general, the pride that a Long Beach State player has, the culture that's been built over the years. Our alumni are so proudful of this program, and they put so much into it. When you have to weather some things like COVID for all of us, right? When the world shuts down, we stop playing volleyball, and we're one of the last teams in the country to come back, if not the last team, and didn't really have any time, just jump into a conference in March and able to get back into playing for championships again. That was the sign, in my opinion, of how healthy the program was, how healthy the culture was, all the hard work that's been put in. Culture wins out on everything. So the X's and O's are important. The talent is immensely important. Having an unbelievably great staff helps, which is I've been able to have. We play in this amazing facility with this amazing fan base. Sustainability for sustained success comes down to individual relationships and connections with your players, and a lot of trust, because there's a lot of players who play at this level who have never been used and not playing and not starting. And you deal with every program in the Big West is dealing with that. But to deal with it where you can be at the point where we've had so many opportunities to play for titles means that we've had a lot of buy-in from our players and a lot of trust. So I just think it's the relationships and the culture.
Yes, to that note, the connection with these players, you have coached 8 National Players of the Year and dozens of All-Americans. On top of that, you will be inducted into the class of 2025 AVCA Hall of Fame. So congratulations on that honor as well. What is the foundation of your coaching philosophy throughout the years?
I just think the athletes in my time as a coach have shifted from kind of a what generation to a what and why, meaning like I grew up with a coach as a dad, and he told me what I was going to do. And he told our team what we were going to do, and we did that. I don't think that's really the way you can coach your players anymore. I definitely think I started off like that. That's all I knew. It's definitely who I played for when I played here. But somewhere around the early 2000s, I really found it to be the new student athletes have been raised differently, whether it be at home, whether it be at school, whether it be at church, whether it be in sports. And there was this what and why, this explanation, and that's not a bad thing, it's just the reality. So making sure we were good at what we were doing, but having the connection of the why behind it so we got total buy-in and it felt a little different. When it comes to the players of the year, I get a lot of credit for that, for coaching players of the year. These guys are incredibly talented players, some of the best players in the country by far when we got them, maybe in the world when we got them. But I always tried to meet them where they were and not try to, coach a Paul Lotman or a Taylor Crabb, like an Alex Nikolov or a TJ DeFalco or a Josh Tuaniga. They're all different, and they all play different positions, and they all have different journeys to get here. So kind of meeting them where they are. And I'm really big in the program of we want to be fair to everyone, but not everything's equal, unfortunately, coaching, especially at this level. So how does that work out, And but I think that what was really special about all of those guys that I just mentioned, including Tyler Hildebrand, anyone who was a player of the year, you have something really special when the guy who potentially can be the NCAA player of the year is also one of the hardest worker, if not the hardest worker in your gym. Because the whole team takes on that personality. They say it takes on the personality of a head coach, but if you have a really special culture, it takes on the personality of its best player, of its hardest worker, of its captains. And those guys have all had their unique journeys. So I tried to meet them where they were and then look at it as these guys are not going to end being a volleyball player at college. It's endless what they're going to do. So my job is to move them along as professionals, prep them for the pros, prep them for the national team. And so I tried to do that with them, and a lot of that came individually in connections and meetings, not just on the court. I have so much respect for all of them, and they're unbelievable ambassadors of our university.
Yes, well, you know about this program and university more than anyone else as a former player yourself, as you alluded to, winning a national championship in 1991. So how did wearing the jersey help shape the way that you led the beach on the sidelines?
Wearing the jersey, or more importantly, wearing the logo, means a lot to anyone who's played at Long Beach State. When I had the good fortune of playing here and we played in a national championship and won it, I always talk about the 20 or 30 minutes right after a national championship. It's really till about the time you get on the bus to go back to the hotel. That's the most magical time in sports. Obviously there's elation and everyone's super happy, but you realize that it was all worth it. Whatever you committed as a team was worth it. You never hear a championship team talk about, hey, we put 10% in more than we should have this year, and we still could have won. You talk about how we would do all this and more to feel this again. And then the difficult part about it is when it's over. When that night's over, it's almost hard ever even to get that team back together again, never mind to feel it again. Like you can't even get them in the same room. Everyone goes their own way. And every once in a while you'll strike gold, right? And you'll get them all together. But I went away from that feeling, that match with that feeling, and I didn't know what I would do with it. But as I came back to coach, I knew something when I came back to coach at Long Beach was it wasn't random. It didn't have to be a one-time thing. This could be sustainable, and I want my players to feel that. So that's what I took from that, and that's what I put into my coaching.
100%. Well, you are the only person in Long Beach State history to be a part of all 4 championships, both as a player and a coach. So what does it mean to you to carry that legacy?
Yeah, it's an incredible honor. It obviously shows that I've been here a while. I feel very fortunate because I got to play, I got to be the assistant coach, and you have to give a lot of credit to Coach Rattel, who was my head coach, who gave me the opportunity. I was a really young assistant head coach, and you have to give a lot of credit to Bill Schumart, our athletic director at the time, and President Maxon, who had the guts to give this program to a 31-year-old head coach. The breadth of how long I've here, I don't take lightly, but because of that, I have the opportunity to be part of all those 4, and I feel grateful.
Definitely. So looking at the next chapter, what is your message to the next generation of Long Beach State student athletes and to Coach McCray as they carry the torch forward?
It will be different in some ways because it should be, right? Everybody will have their own touches on things. I remember when I had the opportunity to become the head coach, it's not that I felt like we couldn't do things the way we had. Just there was some things I was so excited about doing that were really passionate to me, and it takes on a little bit different feel, and that's what it should do. So what I have for Nick is not just me, but speaking on behalf of all of the alumni of the program, everybody has Nick's back, and everyone's pulling for Nick to be really successful, and they'll support him like Long Beach does. The culture will come around and rally around him. They'll be at matches. They'll be there for him for whatever he needs. He's unbelievably prepared for this job. He puts in a tremendous amount of work. The guys really like him and respect him. The identity of our program simply is our culture and our grit. Just staying true to it and almost keeping it simple. There's great things ahead. This program's, I feel, just really getting started of where it can go, and I know Nick's going to do a great job, and I wish him all the best.
Definitely looking forward to that next era of Long Beach State men's volleyball. But for you, lastly, you've dedicated decades to the program and the sport, but what do you see for yourself ahead in retirement?
Yeah, I don't know if retirement's the right word for it. I know I'll stay involved. I have lots of things that I want to do. I started a company called Champions Unlimited that does camps and clinics and speaking. That's been very successful right out of the gates, and I look forward to doing that. I really enjoy teaching the game and sharing some knowledge. One problem about being a head coach is that you're more of a CEO than you are a coach. The least amount of time in your job description is actually the one thing why you got into the job is coaching. You have so many other things, and I look forward to getting back to just coaching, sharing some information with coaches. I have some big goals of trying to make sure volleyball continues to grow. If we do it right, maybe get pro volleyball really going in the U.S. I'd love to bring that to the U.S.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Coach, for your time. Congratulations on retirement, and best of luck in your next chapter.
Awesome. Thank you very much.